Herzlich willkommen zurück bei Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. Und wir hatten es ja letztes Mal angekündigt. Wir treffen uns mit Hope, her master's voice. Kara wants to meet. Hope decides you should see her alone with an ace up your sleeve. Okay, schauen wir es uns an. When you reach the cafe, you're welcomed by the familiar face of the waiter who first let you inside. You exchange looks and nods. He hides his vape pen in a black pocket. She's been expecting you. Something happened to her car, and she, hasn't exactly left her room ever since. He scratches his head, shrugs, and gestures as at you to follow him. Sorry. It's the same route as before. First, beyond the locked door at the end of the room with all the computers. Then, into an endless grey labyrinth. Finally, you reach a door that would look like any other to a random bystander. Of course, by now you know that's Hope's Haven. That Hope's Haven lies beyond it. The waiter bids you adieu with an exaggerated bow and starts walking back to the cafe. You enter the familiar room. This time, the lights are on inside. Hope is inside, walking around nervously, overseeing every screen in sight. When she spots you, she wastes no time on introductions. I'm not okay at all. Kara Montgomery. What do you know of her? Ich habe gerade wieder vergessen, wer Kara Montgomery ist, deswegen not a lot. No. You could have seen her in listicles such as Top 5 Badass Women in Tech 2018, 12 CEOs who spark innovation through empathy, or 20 entrepreneurs with mysterious ties to Jeffrey Epstein. You don't get to voice your answer. The question was just a minor courtesy. She has a monologue to deliver and she won't allow any interruption. 20 years ago, she was a failed .com investor. Now she's CEO of Double Special, a brand management startup working at the crossroads of a big data and influencer culture. The quotation marks are audible, dripping with venom. Long story short, she spends years convincing her Camarilla contacts, as in out-of-touch old farts angry about smartphones, that kindred can benefit from controlling the internet. Her IT ghouls have done a lot of research on deepfakes, AI and machine learning. Her goal is the ability to generate thousands of believably human online accounts. Basically an army of posters that could brute force anything into the mainstream discourse. The elders took a while to get the concept, but eventually Kara got their blessing. The thing is, she claims her tech is ready to be tested, but it needs one final component to work properly, and that's why she pauses. She proposed a truce. Truce? What kind of truce? The become my friend or face a violent death kind of truce. Not exactly fucking convincing, if you ask me. But no matter how much I hate her. Achso, jetzt gibt's einen anderen Usernamen. Obwohl, gab es die ganze Zeit einen anderen Usernamen? Ich dachte immer, das wäre derselbe gewesen. @Malk David Chapman. But no matter how much I hate her guts, this is a blessing in disguise. Hear me out. She picked a public place in Manhattan, neutral ground where we can meet without any fear that the other party might do something stupid and violate the masquerade. She wants to just talk. You will go there in my place and listen to her terms. We won't accept them, of course, especially not after she just tried to kill us. You will just steal her voice and walk away. Jetzt weiß ich wieder, wer das ist. Das war das in der Parkgarage, wo wir abgeknallt wurden. Also, ja, wir wurden abgeknallt. Steal her voice? You? I'm going alone? Why won't we accept the truce? Steal her voice? What next? Will you trade her mermaid tail for legs? Context collapsed. A Disney joke? Sweet. What next? Will you hit me with a tropical Harry Potter reference? A topical Harry Potter reference? I'm not trying to be obtuse here. Wait a second and let me explain my plan. Revenge plotter. You see, there's only one way to even the odds. We have to hit Kara where it hurts. And she's only got one weak point. Double spiral headquarters. Kara's the only... revenge plotter, yeah. Kara's the only person there with access to every room. The security is something she came up with herself. Voice-based, but based on a different passwords phrase every time. That means just recording her talking is not enough if you want to get in. That's why I started selling illicit materials to people with access to advanced deepfake audio technology. I've got it right in this room, and now all I need is a sample base that will allow me to manufacture a bot that talks like her. To monitor data, I need to stay behind. Still, I think the plan is pretty simple. You talk to her while wearing a wire. I processed the recordings here to steal her voice, and voila, she's wide open. Then we invade Double Spiral and destroy it from within. The evil is defeated. I become a part of your crew. Happy ending for everybody. How does it sound to you? Für mich hört sich das Ganze etwas zu einfach an, auf jeden Fall. Will she even talk to me? Sounds fun. Wanna be in danger? Isn't it kinda dangerous? You're Sophie Langley's right hand. Coming to her in peace. She's got no reason to harm you and every reason to avoid pissing off your esteemed patron. Come to think of it, you might be safer alone. Doubt the ghoul that attacked us the last time knew who you were. The only reason you were put in danger was me. Hope shakes her head and claps her hands. When she speaks up, she sounds different, more spaced out, stuttering. Anti-social engineering. Alright, let me fix you up with the hardware. She hands you a minuscule earpiece and starts attaching a small decorative pin to your clothes, along with some masked wiring. It's a directional microphone. I can clear up the audio later, but keep it pointed directly at Kara as much as possible. Alright? You put on the earpiece she gives you. It fits snugly deep inside your right ear. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. The hardware works flawlessly and the audio quality seems great. You give Hope an affirmative sign with your head. Beautiful. Kara designated the meeting place at the vessel. You've heard about the place, right? It's been by the eastern end of Lincoln Tunnel. A giant pile of staircases basically impossible to miss. Manhattan's answer to the Eiffel Tower, or a gaudy monument to being only ever so slightly free, depending on who you ask. I'd drive you there, but my car is still in the shop and I don't want to risk being spotted by Kara's people, and I need to process the voice data from here. Which means I have a perfectly acceptable number of excuses for not letting myself getting anywhere close to that demonic old hag. You involuntarily roll your eyes a little bit. Hope sits in front of her screens, pretending not to have noticed. So, should we get this show on the road, or what? Ready whenever you are. No sense lingering here. You get back to the street and find your car. Wrapping up this show as quickly as possible sounds like a good idea. Around 30 minutes later, you're in the front of the vessel. Ein neues Bild. Das sieht ziemlich krass aus. Hope's description, a giant pile of staircases, wasn't particularly helpful. From the distance, the building looks more like a giant honeycomb designed to swarm with tourist bees. At least during the day, that is. At the moment, the place is closed to general public. A few men who look vaguely threatening and out of place are making sure nobody unwanted gets in. However, you have no problem getting up the stairs. All it takes is an exchange of knowing glances with one of the guards you're expected. A lone figure appears in your sight, staring down at the streets of Manhattan. Da ist sie ja schon. You know, city people often complain about being unable to see the starry skies, but I always thought the real tragedy was how they are unable to appreciate the man-made sea of lights that surrounds them. You can teach people a lot of things, but you can't teach them to see, huh? You recognize the face from Hope's phone. Finally, you meet Kara Montgomery in the flesh. She turns to you, puts on a wide smile and shakes your head with a firm grip. First a representative of Sophie Langley, now a representative of Hope? Not the way I've developed my own career, but I gotta say, not many Neonates get around the way you do. Was mir gerade auffällt ist, dass sie auch diese Augenfarbe hat wie Hope. Ich meine, wir kennen das von Bloodlines, mit den beiden Schwestern, die eigentlich eine und dieselbe Person sind. Ich frage mich gerade, ob Hope was Ähnliches mit uns abzieht. Weil normalerweise haben die Malkavianer die Fähigkeit, sich unsichtbar zu machen, also Obfuscation zu benutzen. Da gibt es eine Abwandlung der dritten Art, das heißt, man kann sein Aussehen verändern, wie man das möchte. Die Videobotschaft, die auf ihrem Handy war, hätte auch abgespielt sein können. Wie wir jetzt wissen, die ist ja ziemlich krass in solchen Sachen. Außerdem ist sie ziemlich krasse Computersachen und sie beschreibt sie gerade als den Obercrack in technischen Dingen und dergleichen. Vielleicht ist das wirklich eine Person, Hope und Kara. Aber wir werden sehen. Wir werden sehen. Vielleicht ist es auch diesmal nicht so. Genau. Contents under pressure. Hardy fucking har. Hope speaks up in your ear for the first time, seething with contempt. Although Kara couldn't possibly have heard her, she immediately goes on to address her absence. Okay, das stimmt, das geht natürlich jetzt schlecht. Es sei denn, sie spielt irgendeine Message ab, das jetzt auf den Ohren ist. Can't say I expected her to actually arrive here. With you instead of you. With you or instead of you. On the other hand, I'm sure a single word I say will be instantly relayed to her. Chinese Democrat. And for the first time and forever, your empty blabbering will serve an actually useful cause. So let me sure we cut out everyone by the middleman for a while, okay? She takes out her phone and taps the touchscreen. In a few seconds, the barely perceptible buzzing sound in your ear disappears completely. You can't hear Hope anymore. It's probable she can't hear your voice right now either, which would mean she must be busy raging and cursing out everything in her sight at the moment. This obviously wasn't something she expected to happen. Could it be that Kara saw through your plan? You have to play it cool and see what happens next. Knowing Hope, you have probably heard whatever scraps can be googled about me and a pile of insults for good measure. Obviously, I know everything there is to be known about you as well, Stevie. I don't believe we have a need for formal introductions, but first off, let me apologize for the discomfort my former employee has caused you. I wasn't remotely aware of his planned actions against Hope. I fully condemn them. I'm glad to see you unharmed, and, of course, applaud your swift disposal for the psycho. Langley chose you well. Brief silence. So let me cut to the chase here and present myself the best way I know how, through my ideas. Who do you think has a monopoly on reality? Has a monopoly on reality. Not much for small talk, is she? Who do you think has a monopoly on reality? Corporations. Corporations do. That's a fairly typical answer. Every 21st century sounding. Have they succeeded in replacing the state here, though? The signals to someone behind you. She signals to someone behind you. For a while you've been watched by Kara's men who circle around the staircases, presumably her ghouls. One of them sets off downstairs. You know, Bolivia just had a military coup. Hundreds of new accounts posting about nothing but Bolivian politics in English set out to convince every random person online that the US wasn't to blame. Sloppy work, if you ask me. Now imagine this, a 17-year-old K-pop fan from Ohio writing an entire thread about how her relatives in La Paz are actually glad the president is gone. A film reviewer with a side interest in politics selling you a CIA-approved narrative about evil morals, an approachable fitness guy explaining the situation to you in simple terms, just like it is. Animated voice, expressive gestures, steady eye contact. She's taught herself how to project in a good image, but it isn't a natural yet. At times it feels as if she is screaming at you to trust her. It's not hard to emulate the masses. Reach out to one of those Eastern European troll farms and bang, a few hours later you have a clone army that will instantly voice their support for any cause. You will spread your message, but you won't foster a new culture that serves your goals. You won't masquerade your messaging as independent though. For that you need personalities, not the masses. But the ability to emulate personalities? A whole different ballgame. Not a craft but an art. You need to understand your fabrication so deeply that you start to hate it when they learn to love it. And if you want to make a bunch of those personalities follow one agenda, you need a once-in-a-lifetime team to achieve that. A like-minded artistic collective, both ambitious and obedient. Even though you can't hear Hope's voice in your ear right now, you could swear you hear her in Kara's speech. It's the exact same tone she was using when monologuing in the car. Ich hab da Nachtigall, ne? Vor allem hat sie ihr Handy rausgeholt, ist mir gerade aufgefallen, um irgendwas auszulösen, was das alles ausmacht. One of them must have been a big influence on another. Or perhaps they used to be in a position where they both shaped each other's personas. Hard to say. Only one thing is for sure. And that is, Hope must be absolutely furious right now. Is it possible that Kara knew about her plot? Fingers crossed she doesn't. The state is satisfied when an account that went unused for 5 years suddenly starts yelling imperialist propaganda into the void. The aging corporations are too set in their ways. But imagine a fresh startup that enables the proliferation of ideas adjacent to the prince's plans for the future. Now imagine it getting into bed with the biggest corporations and agencies. So many unlives that could be improved, or even saved from the raids of First Light. I have the infrastructure, I have the elder support. All I need now is a mastermind at the center of it all. The mastermind? Yes, Hope. She looks down and takes in the scenery below for a while. Then she points at her t-shirt, the one piece of clothing that clashes with the rest of her outfit. You know, I'm a huge fan of punk. The leading idea of my company, Double Spiral, is to make everything I do a little bit punk. I'm all about clashing ideas, I'm all about disruption. You blink a few times in a quick succession. Oh god, you think to yourself, she's that kind of person. You saw a lot of them in your old life. Another deluded executive who thinks they're on a mission from higher powers, insufferable during meetings. Possibly did was ist das für ein Name? Ayahuasca? And can't shut up about it. Was ist Ayahuasca? Oh, keine Ahnung, was das ist. Always desperate to come off as cool. You collect yourself and escape from memory lane. Kara started talking about hope, so you'd better listen. To me, hope is a punk as it gets. Is as punk as it gets. A free spirit, fiercely independent, and an eternal contrarian at odds with everything and everyone, developing her talents just because she finds it joyful. But God, this girl needs guidance. Not putting her talents to better use, rotting away. Posting inane bullshit all the time? What a waste. I've built an environment specifically to develop her talents and let her become indispensable to our society, but she rejects it because of some idiotic hang-ups. I don't expect you to change your mind about me just because I kept yapping and yapping. I just hope you'll keep my perspective in mind and serve as the voice of reason hope really needs right now. Now that I have had my say, how about we put our girl back on? She taps on her phone again. A quiet buzz reappears in your right ear. Ich sage nichts, würde meine Tarnung vielleicht behalten. Da würde ich die Tarnung auffliegen. Sollte es wirklich um Hope handeln. Sie scheint es aber schon zu wissen. You're bluffing. Ich sag mal nichts. 5 extremely long seconds of radio silence. Investigate double spiral now. I'm here, keep talking. Don't worry, she should have heard everything. I just wanted to spare you an annoying commentary track while I introduce myself. Excuse me for a second. One of Kara's guards approaches to show her something on his phone. Hope uses the distraction to get you up to speed with how things are on her side. Hate America beat. Yeah, for a second there, I was about to rage that the heck has gotten the better of us. But hey, go figure, she just wanted to take a piss in my Cheerios. The plan worked. I have a lot of data from her monologuing and some private sources, but the more we gather, the better. The display here says some more K letters could be useful. So don't beat yourself up about if you fail, but if you get her to repeat something with K in it, that might improve our deepfake voice. Looks like Kara done talking to the guard. Looks like Kara's done talking to the guard. Sorry about that. Looks like I've got to attend a sudden meeting with the Google representative shortly. Hope snorts. Not bragging though. By the way, does anyone but Hope know about this little rendezvous? Your patron? Another companion? Or maybe the Nosferatu? Weiß da jemand was von? Ich glaube keiner. Also, fällt mir jetzt nicht ein. Nobody, it's just us. Should I have told anyone? Maybe, maybe not. It just says a lot about your personality, that's all. Ach, das war eine Frage von ihr. Ich habe mich schon gewundert, da stand gar nicht Kara drüber. Naja. Anyway, no offense, but since Hope's not here, I really have to rush, honestly. I feel a little insulted that she set up this meeting and didn't even bother to show up. Insulted and suspicious, her tone of voice betrays her. She might have some good instincts. Too bad she didn't trust them here. Still out of respect for Langley, I decided to have this talk with you, to explain you why I'm an asset to the camera line, to explain why the elders need hope by my side. What the warm-brained hack here forgot to mention is that the elders don't give a shit about me. Even if you don't see it my way now, I believe I sown some seeds here that might sprout in the near future. Double Spiral looks out for people who look out for it, is all I'm saying. But before I leave, you know, there's one thing I really wish I knew. Back when I knew her, she was a different person. Or different people, depending on how you look at it. Why does she fight against me so much? What's her motivation to resist so much? What's her motivation? Good question. She's never shared it with you. V. Answer whatever you want, but A, you better lie through your teeth. B, get her to say V a few times if you can. It might improve a few shortcomings of our deepfake software. What's your answer? Love, I think? Kara blinks, open her mouth, and then shuts it. Then she scoffs. Nonsense. Of course it was, but the sounds like she was trying to convince herself. Something about your answer resonated with her. One of Kara's people erupts with a theatrical cough. Kara gestures at him and to calm down. I really need to go now. See you around, Stevie. She begins to walk down the stairs, surrounded by her guards. Once she's gone from before your eyes, Hope decides to summarize your mission. For the love of Christ, wish you could have kept her droning for a little longer. Turns out the T letter could use some improvements as well. Not complaining though, you did good, and don't worry, the data I have should be more than enough to generate a convincing deepfake. I just need to put in some more work. So I guess I will get to that right away. Enjoy the rest of your night. Drop my hardware at your haven when you get a chance. Drop my hardware at your haven when you get a chance. I'll let you know when we are ready to hit Kara's base of operations. Pray for my success, sweetie. I might be done soon. Maybe even tomorrow. And once we're done with her, we'll talk about how I can repay your generosity. Amen. The connection drops. It looks like that's all for now. You gaze at the sea of light around you for the last time and then start making your way back to street level. Ja, und da sind wir wieder. Im Startscreen, es hat sich nicht wirklich was geändert, nur dass Hope weg ist. Die haben wir abgearbeitet. Und damit schließen wir diese heutige Folge auch. Ich bin ein bisschen enttäuscht, man hatte gar nicht so viel richtig Auswahlmöglichkeiten. Die Sache so ein bisschen in die Richtung zu lenken, dass man überhaupt irgendwie mal irgendeinen anderen Buchstaben aus ihr herausbekommt. Für diese Dingens. Ich meine, ich kann mir vorstellen, dass das alles von Hope nur inszeniert ist, um herauszufinden, ob wir solche Dinge für sie tun würden, damit sie sich dazu herablässt, uns zu arbeiten. Naja, aber keine Ahnung, vielleicht ist das auch einfach nur ein typisches Malkavianer hin und her Geschwurbel. Wir werden es sehen. Beim nächsten Mal schauen wir vielleicht mal wieder bei unserer Loverin vorbei hier. Somebody's Watching Me Part 3. Oder vielleicht machen wir mal wieder was mit dem guten Mehr hier. Agathon. Mal schauen. Oder ich habe eigentlich auch mal wieder Bock auf den guten alten D'Angelo. Naja, das bleibt dann fürs nächste Mal spannend. Wir sehen uns dann. Ich hoffe, es hat euch Spaß gemacht und schaut beim nächsten Mal wieder rein, wenn es wieder heißt Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York. Bis dann.